Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to take a look at the scenario where civilization starts over. In the last episode, we saw the scramble for Africa happen. I forgot for 1 second, Sudan got freed, Asia got filled up, I think, the Americas got split up, and in this episode, the first thing we see happen is Suez Canal gets built over here. This is the Suez Canal. Egypt builds it to gain more economy and to connect themselves up with Djibouti. Yeah, it's Djibouti and stuff. So now Egypt is starting to rise as if they even fell. They're in their prime probably, but they're doing really really good. But now we're going to see other exploration in the Americas, or probably the 1860s, and the Balearics managed to do this, which is a pretty peak thing. The Amazon rainforest is still kind of a danger, so they do not go too far into it. No, Africa doesn't get touched. Unk. You're really unk. The Balearics Empire has reached the Pacific Ocean. They started over here in a small place, and now it's their generations of dictators. They managed to get all the way to the Pacific Ocean. This is just a big empire, a big comeback. And nationalism, that's also going to talk a bit about how this works. It's dictatorships, it's basically a dynasty kind of, but it's not a dynasty because after some hires happen, then we see dictators sometimes change, they have fights for power. No, we still didn't have a major civil war, and this is because if the Balearic Empire did have a civil war, it would completely destroy the country, so they can't have it. They basically made the silent agreement to not split each other up, to keep being and ruling the world, which is pretty smart. But this is the only place where they managed to expand because they completely conquer all of Mexico. They stabilize, don't worry, they take a stability break, but they don't need it. No one is here. They can do anything they want. Except in South Africa where they're having some trouble and they will actually stabilize in their African colonies. Ireland, guys, Ireland locked in. Ireland is Ireland is having a rivalry with the Balearics. Balearics are mad about Ireland because they're kind of stealing their land. Belgium will also go south to do stuff where I think this is Tennessee, but I'm not really sure because I don't know American states from memory. I know that's really sad, but just to be. But no, this is kind of what's happening. So you can see how the world is slowly progressing, but Oslo, which is still used to cold, will go over here and reach the Pacific too, and then they will go close to Alaska and they will find it and conquer it. Not really, but they will discover the existence of Alaska. Oh, and also California starts to get did a massive exploration, which kind of leads to this. So this is really interesting, ain't it? Also, the Panama Canal is going to get built too because it's going to be pretty useful. And after they manage to build it, the following years Peru will get completely conquered, and this massive colony has been linked up, which is the scare of Europe, basically. No, the scare of the world. The Balearic Empire is really the terror of the world. If they are, if Guys aren't allied with them, you're scared. Everyone are scared of them. But now we're going to see stuff happening. Because stuff always happens. Everything always happens. But we see actually Oslo landing in India, helped by Belgium, which said, yo, go get a port over here. Oslo agreed, and now they're starting. And thanks to, people being different and plagues happen because of. They're kind of indigenous now. They meet the Europeans, which are kind of, yeah. And thanks to all these plagues and all this ruin, they just easily win. Sri Lanka becomes Belgian. The peace treaty full annexation. Now you guys are realizing because why the peace treaty of the Asian Wars was such a ruin for Asia. Because they're starting to get colonized. But Oslo hasn't finished yet. They're going to invade Arabia, which makes Egypt extremely mad. But they can't do anything about it because Oslo is just too powerful for the Arabians. She didn't expect this coming. Oslo has a good navy, at least for now, and also supported by the CTO doing this. Egypt Egypt will try to mediate. Oslo will accept to do some stuff. And basically, before I roll with the peace treaty, Egypt gains this land because they wanted to. This is the kind of compensation Oslo was forced to accept. And now Oslo is gaining a notable colonial empire. But someone is going to do stuff because we aren't finished yet. Haven't finished yet. We see explorers come to this island and discover it, which is a major point. Also, the entirety of Indonesia will finally get discovered. We also discovered these islands, and yeah. Oh, am I saying yeah too much in videos? I don't care. We don't care. We love LeBron, by the way. We love LeBron. But this is kind of revolutionizing everything. But also, we see this islands start getting discovered by the Balearics, which are now pumping up their navy, which is really good because where they were born on an island, it makes sense for them to have a really strong navy. In fact, it's the strongest navy of the world, of course. While the second strongest one, it's probably Belgium, then Oslo, then the Baltic. No, I say Egypt is actually the fourth one. Egypt Navy is incredibly good. Like it's really good. It can help. It can do damage. It can take big advantage of enemies. You just don't use it often because they aren't really expansionist. They're more of a chill nation. You don't want to mess with Egypt basically. And I already said this a bunch of times. It's important. As important as the Balearic Navy doing this. They're not really claiming these lands because they're far away. So they're just traveling and traveling. But they will go and I don't know if that can work. They will go and after miles of ocean. It's probably a very, very, very long journey, but they managed to discover this. They kind of have landed in Asia, but the explorers will die pretty quickly after this. So it's a big achievement, but not really. The Balearic Empire won't have much information about this. Paper has been professionalized though, like now. Journals are starting to get sold all over the world. So stuff. They will tell about this journey. The Balearic king will know that they died, but he's going to be pretty mad and upset of this because we needed to do something. Now we don't even know where they landed, what happened. We just know they died. Well, we'll probably find them. They want to try again, of course, and to discover more stuff. But before doing that, we have to check because Belgium is going on a rampage by invading this small country, which is going to get jumped by Oslo too. Too bad though, there's something I didn't talk about. This was a Gujarat ally. Gujarat will declare war on the CTO. Yes, the entirety of the CTO, the entire freaking alliance, which at this point is just Ireland, Belgium, and Oslo. Because the Baltics left. Stockholm might be invited back, but not really. Pretty weak alliance. But no, it's not weak. Like, it's three members, but three really strong members, which alone can win against Gujarat. So we will see Oslo just doing this as a scare tactic because the Gujaratians were already moving in and they were winning, but then they realize they go back to fight. This is a really good scare tactic in circles. Oslo strategy worked really good, but saying Zindia, this is known in history as the great downfall of the Gujarat Jews. Well, yeah, Gujarat is the kind of Jews of this timeline. Well, when they can be debated, but they could be. That doesn't mean there's going to be like a Holocaust or something, but they're just kind of varying. If they aren't, it was just a meme joke. So yeah. Due to this timeline, they're probably the actually who could be? Tell me in the comments, please. Tell me in the comments. I want to know. I want to know. I need to know. Whoa, what's going on? This was just going to be a normal recording. Guess not. But we see Belgium locking in. Along the CTO is absolutely jumping India and Gujarat in general because they knew fighting in the mountains is hard. In fact, they get stalled over there, but Gujarat's navy gets destroyed by the CTO, and the capital gets taken like that. The plagues kind of still happen because they're not sanitized in Gujarat. Oh no, no. They aren't. If they aren't in South India, where they be? But after this, they're only left in the mountains. So, you can't really fight in the mountains. I mean, you can, but it's not worth it. So they will just surrender. This was a big mistake. They lost. Let's take a look at the wonderful peace treaty. This is the peace treaty. Belgium gained lots of land, Sri Lanka, of course. This was a war of the Indian subcontinent. The Great, the Great Indian War, the second, because yeah. But we see the domain of Nepal expanded and got because Gujarat died. They do not exist anymore. Even they will try to suppress, like they will still fight somehow because still people will be extremely anti-European. Whoever survived the pandemic and the plague. But we see also these are occupation zones because Oslo doesn't want to be too much unstable. So they do this and give these zones a bit of autonomy, which is good. And it will help their economy. So there's stability, so they can And now they're starting to get rich from raiding. Same thing for Belgium. This is getting a country mad because, hey, why are they getting rich now? We need to do something. Well, the Panama Canal has been built in 1867. I didn't do that on purpose. You guys, you dudes, you thought about that stupid joke. I didn't think about that. But then it was in 1867. The canal is ready because the Balearic Stack it's really good. The Suez Canal it's also ready. So now it's going to be pretty interesting. But now the Balearics want to do something to get back at Europeans. It's going to be discovering this island, of course. Well, they're European too, but the CTO in general, they kind of dislike it now. They don't really hate Oslo. They have more of a rivalry with Belgium, but they have okay relations with Oslo. But to get back, they will do this. They will take this island. And they will make a big expedition and they will manage to land in Australia. They have discovered Oceania, the final continent, has finally been discovered by the Balearics, which now are going to lock in. Going to say, guys, look, it's a new continent. They land over here and they start absolutely scrambling. Like, they jump the indigenous countries, they do lots of stuff, lots of crimes, even. But do all of this, they cross through the desert because they can't do it, but then they die of because the desert is not really a good place to live in, so they die after this big exploration. But it was worth it because now the Balearics have a new colony. Finally, these expansionist dudes have other land to expand into. Let's go! But now they got a plan because in the following years, in 80, see, discovery of Australia happened in 1868. 1868. So they're getting even closer, even closer. But we see this happening as the island of Timor gets conquered by the Balearics. Indonesia is no longer safe from the Europeans. Oh, but do you guys want to know what just happened? The Philippines invaded Java for disputes over the island. Skirmish happened and they were going to war. Philippines, of course, are stronger than Java, but this they will win. But they will absolutely fail any other offensive. Like Java will just beat them and give them a lot of losses. The Philippines don't want to peace out though. They want the absolute win. So this war keeps going for years and years. The Balearics meanwhile expand and explore. And look at this! They have reached Java. And of course, they're going to invade. Of course. They're going to absolutely jump the indigenous population, which didn't expect a second front. The Philippines are happy, thinking, yes, we got an ally, let's go. By doing this, we'll manage to cross only because the Java is kind of pressured now. But they will still have lots of losses. The Balearics will not end their rampage. They will do not really good stuff and then jump to the main island, getting close to the capital. The Philippines will also go over here and they will welcome the Balearics. The Balearics aren't going to treat them well though. They they see the Filipinos as uh, I can't really say that it's not as cool as themselves. So this happens. Yup. Balearics invade the Philippines without a declaration of war. The War of Indonesia is having their climax. The Philippines didn't expect that. They evacuate, but now they also go over here due to the troops getting in other places. Java kind of manages to resist for now, but the Balearic Navy wins a naval battle and kind of saves the day encircling some troops. And after this, the capital is really in danger. No one of the CTO wants to step against the Balearics. They know that if they do, they're kind of cooked. They do not want a world war. Yes, it's the first time I mention a world war because tensions in the world are rising, of course, after this. The Balearics decide to fight, like they don't need another naval battle. They take Singapore because they want to. And after that, they land on this island and decide to invade the Philippines too. Filipinos are scared, like absolutely, really, really, really scared. They didn't expect visual like this. They will do scorched earth tactics, because that's the only thing they can do. But Borneo gets evacuated because other than plagues that still happen, Filipinos didn't industrialize properly, they aren't strong enough. Balearics have just kicked out the Philippines of Borneo. But it's only that. It seems like they might invade the entire island. But for now they don't, as they do the final rush to Javan capital and capture it. But even though after this Java is still alive, the Balearics will let them live. After taking this land, they will just say it's enough and they will peace out with Java. The Philippines is an non-court kind of situation, but the war of Indonesia isn't over yet, as we see this indigenous country gets brutally destroyed, and the war ends like this. Not really, because the Philippines have to lose another island. But after this, the Balearics decide to finally end the fighting, to assimilate, to stabilize and acquire the land that they got, and the war ends. So this happens. Java still exists. It's pretty crippled. It's going to unite with Cambodia after this because they really can't exist. So Cambodia gains new land, and they're really scared of Balearics, which don't invade though, because they need to stabilize the new land, which is pretty hard to simulate, but they will manage. These lands are occupied, not really annexed yet. Philippines survived, but they're really scarred from this war and scared. They think the Europeans might invade at any moment. But this this might be it for today, because we reached 8074. We're getting really, really far into the timeline. We saw how empires are starting to rise, how countries are starting to form, how now the entirety of Patagonia has been conquered by these land greedy Balearics. And this is going to be it for today. In the next episode, the world might get fully explored and discovered, and maybe even mapped out and conquered. Who knows? It might all happen in the next episode. See ya!